Good morning everyone. The postman's just been and he's delivered a pipe from eBay for 13 UK pounds, which I think is a bargain. Actually it's a French pipe, so let's try and do this, at least part of it, the introduction in French. But my French, I took it at school. So bonjour mesdames et messieurs. Bienvenue dans cette vidéo. Voici pipe de Ropp. There we go. Le modèle, le Ambassade. So the embassy model by Ropp. Philippe. Excusez-moi pour mon mauvais français. Dear me, I need to certainly get better. If you don't speak it regularly, then you do lose your languages, don't you? So it's the Ropp pipe and it's very nice. The embassy model. Oxidised stem, not terrible. It's in good condition. No filling required. I'd say a bath in the oxy. The stamping there, the Ropp emblem is quite nice. Maybe a light sanding, I think, after a bath of the oxy. The actual stummel itself, charring, and that will need very slight topping of the bowl. Nothing major, I think, because it's quite burnt on. There's a number of fills. There's one, there's another, there's another, and there's a big fill, which is proud. It's sitting slightly, is it proud? Well, it's rough. Needs a sanding, and I'm going to sand the bowl, I think, because I think there's another fill. This will come up beautifully. It's a nicely grained pipe and it deserves a bit of attention and love. It's a sitter, as you can tell, which is what I wanted. And it's a decent sized bowl up to the knuckle. Yep. So quite a bit of tobacco in there. Who's been smoking what in this? Let's have a... Burleys. I'm trying to get better at detecting the smell of a bowl after a certain tobacco. Who knows, some Semois may have been smoked through this. Vincent Menil and his famous tobacco Semois from Belgium could have been smoked through this pipe. Anyway, I think this will be a lovely project. So, apologies for the bad French. We'll have to get restoring an OxyClean bath for this stem, I think. That's our first port of call. Right, here we are at the sink with the running water. Want it warm. And in the bottom of this bottle is some OxyClean solution. So let's put a bit in. And there's the stem. In goes the stem, and screw your bottle up, give it a little squeeze and screw it up tight. And what you want is to submerge the stem, and it's in there. There we go. Right, make sure it's all dissolved. Then you throw the bottle away after, but leave your stem in there. I'm going to leave it for an hour probably and see what happens. But yeah, it's all soapy, and we'll leave it to do its job with warm water. That's the stem at the bottom. Okay, we'll come back in an hour and see how we did. Okay, it's not particularly dark, but let's see what it's done. So let's pour that out. And let's give it a little rinse. Yeah, I think it's got rid of a bit, but the telltale sign of it will be getting the, and these aren't really, these aren't expensive, what are they called? It's like melamine pads, and you just go over it and it can lift a little bit of the dirt. Like that. So it hasn't done a great job. I think it's going to need a bit of sanding. Magic erasers, that's what I'm thinking of. Magic erasers. This isn't a magic eraser, but this is the same material. Melamine. And yeah, I think it's doing an okay job, but not great. Well, let's leave it to dry. Actually, let's dry it off, and then we can see exactly what it looks like. Okay, that's not bad at all. There we go. It's very, very dull, but it has removed some oxidisation. It's extremely dull though. It's going to need a little bit of sanding, which is fine. We'll do that in a bit. So this has been sitting for a little while and it looks really dull. I've put some obsidian oil on it and it's kind of absorbed it, but it's really, really dull. And I think we can do better with it. That little Ropp emblem has come up nicely, but there's quite a few bits I'm not happy with. So I'm going to go for the micro mesh pads, and I'm probably going to start around here, which is the 400, 46812 I'm going for. Okay, so I think I've shown this in other videos. It's a very straightforward process, and then afterwards I'm going to put a little bit of obsidian oil on and see what the stem looks like. But yeah, it's a bit too dull really, and if the actual pipe, I'm going to plan to sand it down and bring it up to a nice shine. I think it would be good if the stem looks shiny too, as it won't look quite right. Okay, so I'm going to go through the process and I'll show you when I've finished. Good morning, it's another day here and the sun's out. That's the stem. I think that looks okay. There is some oxidisation still I can see inside it, which the only real way to get rid of that is sanding. And then you're going to completely change the shape of your stem and it ends up not fitting quite flush. So, I mean, I can live with a little bit of oxidation around there. You can just about see it. Put some obsidian oil on the stem. So I think that's probably done. So we take that off and we're going to focus on the bowl and the rim's really dirty. Now all I'm going to do is just top it very, very slightly, just to get rid of the burn on top. This is 1500 auto paper, so I'm just going to go over it round and round until I've taken that off, and then we're going to focus on the actual bowl and I'm going to sand that down very, very slightly and then probably restain it, and I think that will look really nice. So all you do is hold your bowl like this and you go round and round on your paper. This is auto paper, 1500, and it was really cheap. I found it on eBay. I'll show you how to do that. There's the bowl. A little bit more. too bad, is it? So I'm just giving it a little bit of a wipe over, and it's looking very dull. So what I'm going to do is 4, 6, 8 and 12, 100 grits, starting with the 4. All I'm going to do is go over the entire bowl until I've got a little bit of a shine. Okay, so that's the bit I've just done. Let's have a look at this. See that bit there? What you want to do is go over really well until you've got a little bit of a shine, and then move on to the next grit. So we're only taking a very, very small bit of material off. Okay, so there we go. Then we move on to the 6. And we do this, I'm just showing you what it's going to look like. That's the 6. Polish it even further. Okay. And then the 8. And then the 12. And without any polish, it's going to look pretty good. Much better than, say, that, isn't it? Okay, so all we're doing is getting down and polishing the wood, and I'm not sure if I'll stain it. I think I probably will, but I think it's going to look really nice when it's done. Okay, I'm going to do that and then I'll see you in a bit. Okay, here we are. Got some leather dye, British tan, and I thought that might be nice on the pipe. So let's have a look. Got a really big fill there, which is actually a slight indent just there. So I'm going to dye the pipe, and then I might drop a little bit of glue into there, just bring it up to the surface, because it is an indent currently. I think the pipe will look really nice with a bit of British tan. It's not the most remarkable briar. It's not anything kind of special. There's another indent, so I might also drop a tiny bit of glue on there just to bring it up level. I can feel that. So what happens with fills, they fill it, and over time it shrinks slightly and you're left with an indent. But yeah, so let's dye the pipe and see what it looks like. Let's put the stem on. You can see the stems come out quite nice, but there is deep inside, especially around here, a little bit of oxidisation, but I'm not precious about that. It's a 13-pound pipe, isn't it? It's not like it was a 400-pound Dunhill, but I think it will smoke really nicely. So, pipe cleaner. In it goes. stain hides all sorts of imperfections, and I like that. There we go. And it gives an idea of the type of finish we're going to get at the end. It's not covering particularly well in that indent, but I have to think about what we're going to do. Okay, round we go. Yeah, that looks really nice. A bit more around the rim. Yeah, that's darkened it quite nicely actually. Yeah, I like that. We could darken it even more with some feed and wax in a bit. I think that might be our next step. Yeah, see a little bit of rim burn there, but that's okay. Okay, we'll leave that to dry for a bit and then come back and fill some of these these fills, which is a big one right there. Just drop a bit of glue in there, I think. Okay, looks good. Okay, so there's one fill, and there's the other. You can see it, just any more. Not really, that's the main one, that fill right there, if you can see that. That's a big indentation. So let's get a little bit of super glue. Just going to drop it. I'm going to put it on here first and then pick it up from there with this. You can just see what I'm doing. Just building it up very, very slightly. I actually can't see it very well. I want to get my other glasses. Yeah, get my other glasses, I think. Oh, that's better. I can actually see. Right, so we're just building this up here, very, very slightly. That's it. You can see that, just blob. It will shrink slightly. We will have to sand it, but that should mean it's uniform. Throw a bit there. There we go. Okay. Sorry, it's not in shot. Okay, that's one. That needs a bit more there. Over there. Right, where's the other one? There. There we go. Okay. How's that looking? Okay, let's leave that to dry. And that one. give it a little sand and I think that will be all right. But you can see what we're going for. Yeah, the light in here is very, very good. The light in here is really good. You can actually see some grain. I've got my glasses on, I can see better. Would you believe it? There we go. Looking at it, I don't know if I need to go darker. I quite like that. Anyway, it needs to dry. So let's leave that there to dry. Here we go. It's dried and you can see there's a big lump of glue on there and one there which I've started to sand. As you can see what happens. So as you're sanding it and it's really hard to get right on it, it's taking away a little bit of the finish, but we can restain it. So that's what I'm going to do today. Take me time. It's hopefully going to flatten out okay. You can see how much of an indent it was, and now it's convex. It's all right, convex. It was concave, now it's convex, and now we have to just take a little bit of that glue off to flatten it out. So I've got the most coarse pad, and you just want to take your time, try and get some of that down so it's a bit flatter. You can see how it goes. So let's come back when I've done that. Might take a little while, but yeah, I think it'll be okay when we can restain it afterwards. There it is in the light. What's this one? This is 6,000. 6,000. $1,800. Where's that? There it is. So there it is. You can just about see it, but it's all now flat. And the last one is the 1,200. There we go. So it needs staining, but you won't be able to see quite as much. And there's not a dent now, it's just filled with that glue. Okay, let's stain that because it's an obvious patch. So here we go, that's what's happened. I think that's fairly flush. You can just see that different colour in the middle where the glue is. So we restain it and try and hide it a bit more. The other one is there, so that's covered quite nicely as well, and it's smooth and uniform. Okay, so a restain and a final polish with, I'm going to use some Renaissance wax, and let's have a look at the final finished product. But yeah, I've enjoyed this. I think it's going to smoke really well. And there we go. I think that's a really nice looking pipe now. Yeah, I'm really pleased with that. Looking forward to smoking it. Nice estate sitter. Just put some wax on. I'm going to buff it off in a bit, but yep, I'm happy with that. Where's the fills? So there's one fill. You can see it glimmering. There's not much you can do about that. You can dull it down to match the other pipe, the rest of the pipe, which I might do, because that's very, very shiny. But yeah, quite a nice grain actually. Yeah, there we go. Ropp Ambassade. And where's the other fill? Somewhere. But there we go, that's going to smoke very nicely, I think. Yeah, an enjoyable restoration, guys, and I encourage others to do so. I get a lot of pleasure from doing that, saving these old pipes and smoking them again. So yeah, it's great fun. Thanks for watching. I hope you're all well. The sun is out now in the south of England, and I'm going to have a smoke of this pipe in a bit. All the best. Thanks for watching. Bye. Yeah, just come out of the garden. I wanted to show you in the light. And I think that looks quite nice. There we go. Nice estate pipe.